love to go vegan, but my doctor says it's really unhealthy. Hi, I'm NISHA.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Hannah. And this is
The Vegan View.
Cheers!
Hey guys, welcome back to The Vegan View. Today we have a special treat. We have a naturopathic doctor who specializes in oncology. Welcome to our show, Dr. G.
Thank you. It's
Thanks
a
for
pleasure.
being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here, first and foremost. I have a great group around me. So yes, I do specialize in oncology, but that was my residency. But I'm a naturopathic doctor. I see all sorts of diseases, from hormonal disease to gastrointestinal disease to food illnesses, whatever it is.
Perfect.
A lot of the passion comes in understanding what is the connection between diet and health, because conventionally we overlook that
Yeah.
in medicine.
In medicine, they tend to treat the symptoms and not the causes.
Yeah.
Putting
There's a
band-aids.
big shift.
And at least naturopathically, we go to look to the root cause, but one of the bases of health is diet. So it's so important to really focus on the diet and make sure these people are eating well. So I have a lot to say about a lot.
So how did you become vegan, and like how did that inform your practice and becoming a doctor?
I became a vegetarian in 2009.
Wow.
And that was for spiritual reasons. Because to be honest, I think life is sacred. And like, how do we not honor animals or even insects? Like, life is sacred. And it's just not a vibration that I wanted to have. Other people may, and that's their choice. Then, going through that, I learned about the health benefits of it. And I was like, oh, well, look, I'm being more healthy than usual too, which is a beautiful part of eating like that.
Yeah.
Then I learned about how we can apply that to medicine and how we can help people. And then clinically I saw it. So vegan came, so I was eating cheese a little bit, some pizza every now and then. And then at some point I was like, why am I doing this? I don't even like cheese. So 5 years ago, I just cut it out. There was no issue with the transition. And it's been great. And I feel healthy. I feel strong, like mentally clear, good vibration. So.
Why do you think there's such a concern that people have that being plant-based is unhealthy?
I think that there's a lot of influence from big corporations that have brainwashed us into believing that we need this for that, right? We need meat for protein. We need dairy for calcium. And they've done an excellent job of putting those millions of marketing dollars to convince society that that's what it is. At the expense of that, we lost sight of what truly plants and plant food can do for our health. And that's why even conventional doctors will go, oh, no, what are you doing? You have to have some meat. Your kid, they have to have 3 glasses of milk. I mean, you're crazy. That's what your pediatrician will say.
Yeah.
Because they too don't understand. And they have, conventional medicine has on average 23.9 hours of nutrition.
Yeah.
4 years of school.
That's
Yeah. So and
that's
that's
a lot
average.
of lacking information, I feel.
Yeah, and that's an average, right? So then some have 6 hours. That's nutrition, the basis of health, which drives me crazy. As a naturopathic doctor, we have 2 years of nutrition. So we connect that to clinical outcome.
Can you tell our audience what naturopathic medicine is? Because I think sometimes people hear it and they don't know what it is, or they even think maybe it's like hippie or whatever. Like, it's a real practice. I mean,
Yeah, so naturopathic medicine, philosophically is rooted on finding the root cause, right? Not putting band-aids on something. Naturopathic medicine is not going, I have a headache, here's an herb.
Yeah.
It's, okay, well, why do you have a headache? What are you eating? What are your exposures? What is your stress level?
Treating
What's your
a person as
environment?
a whole.
As a whole.
it's amazing to me that that's not what all doctors do, because that's what I
Right.
think we all think doctors do when you go to the doctor.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, and it
That's
is
so
amazing because
worrisome.
isn't that health,
Yeah.
right? But naturopathic doctors go to 4 years of medical school. I did a 2-year residency. So we take all the same core classes as a conventional medical school, plus things like herbal medicine, homeopathy, nutrition,
It's much more integrated of an approach.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, and it's like painful bladder syndrome. And nothing was working for me. I went to like so many doctors, physicians, and it wasn't until I started going to like a neuropath that it completely changed. And they're like, let's look at what you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I was eating like paleo, super clean to what I thought. But as soon as I started incorporating like less acidic foods and more plants, it completely healed me and changed my life.
Can you talk about how a plant-based diet, how it actually affects health overall? Like how what you eat actually has a direct effect to your health?
Absolutely. So plants have an abundance of different nutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, different macronutrient blends. And there's an inherent intelligence in plants that when we eat it, it sort of knows what to do. What I always recommend to people is, yeah, you can be a vegan, but you have to make sure you have the variety of colors, right? You need a rainbow, red, orange, green, blue, violet, whatever the rainbow colors are. But we need to be having those because there's a profile of nutrients in each color that benefits us differently, right?
Yeah.
One can help with hormone detox for men and women. The other one can help build our blood, build the strength of our arteries, protect our hearts, protect our kidneys, facilitate brain health, brain growth. So these are all nutrients that are found in plants. Sure, meat has nutrients, it has amino acids, it has some vitamins, some minerals, but we're talking about an abundance of synergistic nutrients in plants that for me far surpasses anything that you're going to get in a high, like a paleo diet or a keto diet. Even the people who go to me and they go, I'm not getting rid of meat, but I'm looking to work with you. Then I tell them 90% of your diet should be plants. And then whatever you want to put on there, then have it that way. And then come to me if you want to transition. That's fine, without judgment. But plants are healing because of these inherent synergistic nutrients that are found in these plants.
Yeah, that's such a good point because I know keto is like all the craze, but it's concerning to me on the end of like you're eating animals and you don't know what that animal ate and you don't know where they came from. And so they're probably not eating the rainbow, you know, because most animals are eating the same thing over and over again. So you're missing out on so many nutrients if you're just eating mostly meat with your diet.
Yeah. One thing that no doctor or no one's talking about, doesn't matter doctor, anyone who's a proponent of these things, is environmental toxins that are found in meat and eggs.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
One of the most concerning ones is called dioxin. Dioxin, 98% of dioxin is found in animal products. Right, so the study that showed the animal products had 98% of it, then vegans had almost negligible amounts in their diet. Animal tissue is holding in dioxin. That's just one environmental toxin, right?
That's crazy.
Then we don't know how these animals are fed, right? If they choose grass-fed or whatever, then we hope that they're eating grass. But conventionally speaking, it's horrible. They have soy, GMO foods, antibiotics, and these are what unfortunately most people, the meat that they're eating in America.
Yeah. We like to think that we're eating all grass-fed things, but it's just really not the truth of it.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not, and you can't control for these things because they're in the environment. So organic or not, these animals, these organic eggs are having high amounts of dioxins, and dioxins we don't know what they're doing. That's what I stress to people.
Thing.
Yeah.
I know there's something that Dr. Greger did about bone broth, and they're finding out like bone broth had high levels of lead and like all these terrible things, and he's just like, you can't control what the animals are living in, like what toxins they take in during their lifetime.
Exactly true, yeah.
And then when you go through a middleman like an animal to get your nutrients, you're getting all the bad with whatever good you think you're getting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have the animal tissue and you're getting vitamins and minerals and some nutrients, not like you would in plants, but you're getting some nutrients. But then you're getting inflammatory proteins, right?
Yeah, for me, the whole thing with I cut out dairy because everyone says dairy's bad for you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I cut out meat that I got my life back, and that was just proof enough for me.
Can you talk about how, like with milk products, we know that casein is carcinogenic, like how casein actually affects cancer cells in your body and helps them grow faster, and how inflation is
Not
related
just
to
cancer,
what you eat.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, how does it disrupt your body?
So dairy's a major one because I find that it's hard for patients to get off of dairy.
Yeah.
Dairy, the casomorphins in dairy stimulate the same receptors that heroin does, right? Nowhere nearly as
Not
strong.
as much,
Right.
Nowhere nearly as
definitely
strong.
similar. Yeah.
Similar ones, and the reason is why to create the bond between the mom cow and the baby cow.
Right.
Right. So this is may be a mechanism as to why many people become strongly bonded with cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You see it all the time.
Yeah,
I could
you don't
never
take
give up
people's cheese away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Exactly. There's a component to that, and
Yeah.
that's brain receptor activity. That's why. Milk in itself is high in casein, high in saturated fat, high in fat, high in sugar, high in calories. It's not a health food. We only absorb 30% of calcium in milk, whereas in collard or mustard we get 60%, so it's less bioavailable.
Yeah.
And then it also promotes something called insulin growth factor. Insulin growth factor is a hormone that is directly connected towards cancer growth.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen some of the best clinical outcomes or just changes in people's health when they reduce or get rid of dairy or cheese or whatever they're doing, especially when it comes to hormonal issues. 2.5 servings of dairy for a male will increase his risk of prostate cancer to 30%. Just 2.5 servings of dairy a day. We know that it affects hormones in women, their estrogen.
Yeah,
we know
definitely.
that. So hormonally, why would you even be having dairy in your diet?
Yeah.
And it's dairy is one of the worst foods across the board, vegan
Yeah.
or not. It's something that should not be part of someone's diet.
Definitely.
It's not a food.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have a lot to say about dairy because it's so cleverly pushed.
Oh yeah, I saw this advertisement that's like, what's in almond milk? And it's like water and sugar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't think milk has water and sugar? What is
Yeah.
lactose? Like
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, it's
a
got
kind of sugar from dairy.
it's got pus.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
just crazy.
They're like, get back
They're
to real
really,
milk.
I know this
Yeah.
is.
They're
real.
really pushing it
You
hard,
pay for
which is
all that
good
water.
because
Because they're feeling the.
they're feeling like I think they are losing
means we're
sales.
winning.
I mean,
That's
a lot
true.
of
A lot
people,
of dairy farms closed.
a
Yep.
lot of people are switching to almond milk and oat milk because they know that it's healthier
opening
for
up
you.
their eyes. It's becoming more logical because like we're the only animal who's drinking breast milk past infancy. Like what are we
Yeah.
doing?
But you know, I think a lot of people disconnect the connection between milk and cheese. It's the same. You're still getting
Yeah.
breast milk from a cow.
Yeah.
It
It's
takes
just-
10 pounds of milk to make 1 pound of cheese.
So it's even more
It's
concentrated.
even more concentrated. So
Ooh,
cheese
yeah.
in relatively speaking, cheese is way worse.
It's like
Yeah.
a dairy bomb.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a dairy bomb.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And when I started, it was just really like soy milk that was out there.
Yeah.
But now there's so many different types of milk out there. You can make your own in 5 minutes. You soak, you throw them in the blender, you put a little date or maple or whatever.
Yeah.
There, you have your own for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Cheaper, better quality, fresh.
So I would love to know your thoughts on eggs because I know a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm mostly vegan. I love eggs and I can't give up eggs. That's like what I eat for breakfast. So I'd love to hear about the health aspects of eating eggs and
And
how
there's
that
been
affects
so much
things.
pushback about like from the What the Health film and people like talking about the carcinogenic effects of eggs, if it's as risky as smoking a pack a day, like how does that
Okay, I'll clear that
work
up.
out? Yeah.
So when it comes to eggs, I think let's just address some myths that are out there.
Okay.
There's a myth that like we need dietary cholesterol to produce cholesterol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
We don't. Our liver, our adrenals, our reproductive organs, our intestines are very much so equipped to create cholesterol in our body. That's
How do you think the
that's one
animals
thing.
made it?
Yeah. How do you think? Okay. The other side,
He's like,
right, 'cause-
preach.
yeah. The other side of it is that there's a belief that eggs do not raise blood cholesterol. They do. Eggs raise blood cholesterol. Here's the thing. It is the diet that it's put in. So if you have a high saturated fat, high cholesterol diet, and then you add in cholesterol, it will raise it, but not the way it would affect somebody who's eating a vegan diet. And all of a sudden I go, I'm going to start eating eggs for a week. That's going to skyrocket my blood cholesterol.
Because it's almost like they have a tolerance.
Yeah, it's sort of a,
Wow.
but still, it trends up, right?
Right.
One of the major
So
things.
that's why everyone's like, oh, it doesn't really raise it. They're just not comparing it to
Right.
someone who eats not eggs.
Yeah. The other concerning part about cholesterol is it has an unnatural level of choline that we're not supposed to be eating. Choline is a nutrient found in lecithin.
That's funny because I feel like they market that.
Right, but we're supposed to have choline, but it has such a high unnatural level of it. Right?
Wow.
Choline's awesome for brain
Wow.
health.
What is
Yeah.
choline?
What happens is that choline mixes with an amino acid called carnitine, and then it goes through the blood into the digestive system. And for people who have high amounts of animal products, they have their gut bacteria. Species. We don't have these species as meat plant eaters, But the meat eaters and animal protein, people who ingest that, have a specific gut bacteria that takes those nutrients, breaks it down, sends it in the blood, and the liver converts it to something called TMAO, which was sort of touched on in the film you said, trimethylamine oxide. That is directly connected towards inflammation of the blood vessels, increasing atherosclerosis, and clogging the arteries.
Oh.
So that's why they're comparing it to
inflammatory.
smoking. It was like the
Right.
arterial function.
What it does to the
Okay.
arteries. That's basically, and
There
that's
you go,
that's what they
guys.
were pushing towards it. And this is eggs, right? This is
Yeah.
eggs, and this is something that like is so ingrained in American society as a health food, but they can't market it as a health food. They can't even say that it's a nutritious food because it's not. It's like saying a big piece of steak has awesome amino acids. It's got some minerals, but at what expense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's other inflammatory proteins in there, right? Cancer promoting.
Well, it's like a lot of people say smoking cigarettes has protective effects against Parkinson's, but it also will kill you. Like,
Yeah, so you just can't. If you have a choice of having an abundance of amino acids in plants, plus everything else, the antioxidant, the cardioprotective effects, the cancer protective effects, to me it's a no-brainer, and that's why I approach food this way.
So what are some foods, I'm sure people are wondering, like what are foods that they should be eating, they should be focusing
Okay.
on a maybe daily basis or weekly basis, and what are some that they should completely avoid?
Let's
for
go
health
with
reasons?
avoid first.
Okay, avoid,
Okay.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, refined sugar is major. Processed food, anything in packages. This is the rule of thumb I give patients. I say, eat the way nature intended, right? If you don't see nature growing granola bars on a field, right?
Yeah.
Right, and those are processed. And listen, they're great on the run.
Right.
I'll have a protein bar on the
You
run.
can't just pick one off a tree.
Yeah.
Exactly. But keep in mind, let's try to eat closest to nature.
Right.
Remember I said the rainbow, right? That's another rule of thumb, following the colors of the rainbow and making sure you're doing that. Avoiding genetically modified foods. This is real. There was the
Monsanto.
Monsanto court case,
Yeah.
250 million for glyphosate, right?
Yep.
Glyphosate is not only every time we ingest it acts like an antibiotic in our digestive system, but glyphosate promotes cancer in the body. Genetically modified foods are something that needs to be avoided, always.
How do you know if it's genetically modified?
Right. So if it has an organic label, it cannot be genetically.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
good to know.
It won't be sprayed with glyphosate. Organic labels are not perfect,
No.
right?
Yeah, because
They-
they can still spray for
They could.
other things.
There's still other pesticides that are not synthetic that are sprayed.
Yeah.
It's still, but it's not perfect. But it's the best we have right now.
Okay.
But common foods are corn, soy, canola.
It's all like we're really strict about soy and corn. We like won't even touch it.
Yeah.
Jesse especially.
Yeah.
Hi Jesse, you don't watch this show.
Yeah.
You don't watch the show.
But choosing those food organic.
Yeah,
is
you have
major.
to really. There's certain foods definitely that
Yeah.
you have to invest more time and money into
Yeah.
to eat.
And I tell people there's something called the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen
Yeah.
by the Environmental Working Group, EWG.org. Clean 15, Dirty Dozen, and they highlight all the foods that should be bought organic and the conventional
Yeah.
ones at 15 that don't need to be.
We'll
Yeah.
definitely link the EWG. It's amazing, either for beauty and food. It's like I go there all the time. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you guys are freaking out, like I can't afford to eat all organic, this is so stressful. What I always recommend is to try to get local and try to get in season because that's always going to be the least expensive option and it's generally the most nutritious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much does a pound of grass-fed beef cost?
Right?
So
yeah,
much.
you have to think about that too.
Just consider that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I tell people. But you're right.
So, as far as avoiding things in a package, would you include like tofu and tempeh? Because those are like two of my favorite things.
Right. No.
in that.
Look.
Those are so
It's still in a whole food form, right? They're just
Right.
fermented soybeans mushed up in the form of tempeh.
Okay.
It's more like diet.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
talking about things like that,
Right,
like
okay.
because you can be a very unhealthy vegan.
yeah.
For sure.
I have seen
Been
it.
there.
Yeah.
I've done that.
and unfortunately, we don't have. Now we have more, but there's not that many resources for people to go. All right, I want to be vegan. How do I do it? What
Right.
steps do I take to do it healthy? Dr. Michael Greger has wonderful stuff out there, and he has his list of foods
Yeah.
to eat. That's a great foundation how to make the transition.
Yeah, he has an app you can go and like check off how many serving is it beans, veggies, fruits,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff per day. It's really useful.
Yeah, but the vegan industry is also they make a lot of unhealthy stuff too, right? We have like boxed this full of this and this and this. Yeah, sure, it's vegan, but like,
Yeah.
look how much sugar it has.
So,
So much
what would
sodium
you
and fat.
you mostly avoid it? Is it okay to have it sometimes as a
Sure,
treat?
sure. And I'm not saying to be super strict
have to be
24/7. You don't
perfect?
have to be perfect. You don't. But
That's very much a message that we have on this
Yeah.
channel.
yeah, so if you have let's say 21 meals in a week, right? Let's keep most of those on a healthy pace. And then, like if you have a vegan pizza, which I love to have
Yeah.
when I'm out, if I'm out, then I'll eat that.
Right.
And I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, I really tell people that they should focus on getting at least 5 fruits and vegetables a day. So even if they are eating that pizza, if they're still focused on getting minimum 5 a day, it's like you're still going to feel pretty good, and maybe you'll have 7 the next day or whatever. But how many do you think is a good number for people to start? Because I know people who literally have 1 or 2 a day. So what do you think is like ideal?
Every meal should have a form of a vegetable. And if you have fruits with meals, fruits, I usually have it between meals. But you have to just think about the rainbow, right?
Right.
So, okay, this is breakfast. Smoothies are amazing because you can add in a bunch, right?
We say
We
that.
love smoothies.
Smoothies, right?
Yeah.
You have leafy greens, right? You can put different spices. You can put berries. That's green and blue already, right? And then you mix it up. You put some superfoods.
Ooh, we're getting I like thinking of it like that. Okay, I've got the blue thing, I've got the orange
green
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Painting.
And then you blend
Yeah.
it up and it looks
Yeah.
brown.
The end product is
good.
brown, but it tastes good, right?
Yeah.
Banana yellow,
Yeah.
right? Some avocado green, and then when lunch comes, go all right. Like what things can I add in there? Some whole food, some whole grains, some plants, right? Some like tempeh or
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Like just mixing it up, get creative.
Or have your pizza but have like red peppers on it and like
Sure.
arugula or something.
Yeah. And all these, like I said, all these colors are very powerful in different ways. And that's just think rule of thumb. Don't go crazy with it. But if you're having pasta and vegan cookies, that's not really being whole food plant-based vegan.
Right.
That's just being like a lazy vegan, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy to be a lazy vegan. You can have protein bars all day.
I have my moments where I really am bad, but I do notice the difference in how I feel. Like I remember one time before filming, instead of having, sometimes we'll have like chips and salsa and like kind of like, the things you're talking about, the packaged foods. And then one day we had like fresh fruit from the farmer's market.
Yeah, I was like, I think this is why we're not
And we
doing so well.
We
So
felt
I
like
bought a
we
bunch
had
of
drank a
fruit.
gallon of coffee. We were like energetic. We felt light on our feet. We were feeling so good.
Yeah, your
and
body
it's,
knows what to do with it.
it's so important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your body doesn't know what to do with like processed tortilla chips dipped
Yeah.
in vegan salsa.
Yeah.
It's got to work extra hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Exactly.
It's like eating in a way that works with your body versus like, yes, it can handle those types of foods, but like it's not going to be optimal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. What do you think about nightshade foods, which are like, I know because people are like, you shouldn't eat, like, because you're talking about the rainbow, and then I'm thinking like, why do people hate nightshades?
Yeah,
What's
well,
nightshade?
So it's like eggplants, tomatoes.
eggplants, tomatoes, some potatoes, some other foods.
Why are those bad?
Well, I think we should approach plants by not being really like black or white and being like, this is good, this is bad. I've been told this is this, this is this. Some people are sensitive to the proteins in those foods. Some. If you find yourself having joint pains or digestive issues when you eat tomatoes or eat potatoes, then maybe take a step back because some folks are sensitive to that. Same thing with other nutrients in foods, right? Same thing with some people in soy. Some people's stomach can't handle soy. So it's sort of like knowing your body.
We
too.
get that a lot in our group. Some people will be like, "Has anyone noticed that soy makes you really sick?" And we're always like, "If it makes you sick, don't eat it."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, like we assume that all of our bodies work the same, and it's so not true.
Yeah.
Some people like NISHA can eat
Yeah.
anything and she doesn't ever have a
Well,
sensitive stomach where ours are more sensitive.
I
We notice.
grew up eating a ton of raw vegetables. We
Yeah.
grew a lot of our own food. So for me, adding a bunch of vegetables to every single meal is so second nature that sometimes when people think it's weird that I do that,
Yeah.
it's just what you're accustomed to, and it doesn't make me sick.
Yeah.
But then there are people who can't eat chickpeas, and I'm like, how are you alive?
Yeah, like raw fruits and vegetables we were talking about, it's a lot for our body to process. We didn't grow up eating that, but also I
different
just think our
microbiome.
bodies are just different.
That's exactly what I
Yeah.
was going to talk about. Everyone here at this table has a different microbiome, different levels.
Yeah.
And we break down foods differently. right? We just only started studying the microbiome in 2005.
Right.
We don't really know
Wow.
much about it.
Wow.
Right?
But we're
That's
finding out it's
A lot more and more.
huge.
Yeah, and it is integral not only to digestive health, but way
Mental
past
health.
that, mental health, systemic inflammation, overall health, and like I mentioned, your diet balances your digestive system. So that's what's being provoked. Let's say in a meat-eating diet, we see a lot of different bacteria in the gut than everyone else here.
Oh yeah.
But still, we see variety in our own, right? Through
Mhm.
genetics, through our life, the way we ate.
Yeah, growing up.
Yeah, exactly. But guess what? Plants are the main form about feeding these good bacteria. These are called prebiotic foods. This is integral to health, prebiotic foods. When someone's like, where do you get your protein? I don't worry about protein. I worry about fiber much more than I do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I worry, how much fiber did I get today? Not protein.
Totally.
It's the gut microbiome that is integral. And the way we grow it is with prebiotic foods. Where do we find those? Plants, vegetables,
Yeah,
right?
so many people are concentrated on the probiotics, but
Yeah.
then they
Yeah.
don't eat any vegetables.
Yeah, I was gonna say my friends. I have quite a few friends that are like, "Are you guys taking prebiotics and probiotics and all this stuff?" And not all of my friends are vegan. I would love to know more about that because I had stomach issues a while back before I was vegan. Actually, going vegan like totally cured them. But I remember the first thing that my doctor gave me was a thing of probiotics. And he
Yeah.
was like, "This will help, and if
Yeah.
it doesn't, like, come back and see me."
If I had a box of probiotics here and I gave them to you, you could be like, I feel great. My stomach feels great. Like I go to the bathroom normally. I have
Yeah.
energy. I could give the same one to you, and you're like, I don't know. It doesn't, because like I said, there's diversity and
Yeah.
everyone else is here. So it's hard as a practitioner to be like, here's this brand of probiotics. It's going to help you, because I've seen the top brands of probiotics not help one person, help
Yeah.
profoundly another person. Our gut bacteria is integral. It's integral to our health, and we see that through just digestively how it facilitates health for us. Prebiotic foods are, to me, much more important than any probiotic supplement,
Yeah.
any fermented food. And fermented food is wonderful, but it's those prebiotic foods that sustain those guys. You can eat fermented foods and eat no prebiotic foods. They're going to die at some point.
Yeah.
Those good bacteria, but the prebiotics help balance the
And
gut.
prebiotics are in the fiber.
Yeah, it's
It's
the-
is
what
fiber.
feeds the bacteria in
Yeah.
your gut.
yeah.
So what's an example of a prebiotic food?
Asparagus,
Okay.
Okay.
very high in
Fibrous
prebiotics.
anything.
Fibrous anything.
Okay.
But not
Apples.
Metamucil, right?
Yeah,
People cheat. Have been recommended that too.
exactly.
I have had conversations with people who think that it's not natural to eat a plant-based diet because we're not designed to eat extremely high amounts of fiber. What do you say to that?
Our ancestors were eating 100, 200 grams of fiber a day.
Yeah.
They should
So-
come watch me eat.
Yeah. So we are more than designed to break down fiber. People can't tolerate it because we grow up eating zero fiber, no
Yep.
fiber.
Yeah.
We
So
have such crappy fiber intake in America.
That's a huge problem with people first going vegan. Like, they have stomach problems, they get bloated, and it's just because it's
They're eating
so
too much.
different.
I say go up 5 grams every
Yeah.
week.
Oh, 5 grams. That is a really good
That's
tip.
a really good
5
tip.
grams every
Two of my
week.
most popular videos on my channel are about bloating and gas problems as a vegan, and
Yeah.
I also try to talk a lot about how it's not always just the food you eat, it's also stress and whether or not you're sleeping and if you're drinking alcohol, and all those things have really affected me with bloating.
sure.
But I was so focused on the food and, I can't eat this or that, and then I realized that actually if I sleep consistently more than just one good night out of the week or whatever, it makes such a big difference.
Yeah, bloating is intimately connected to food, but many other factors too. But as you said, people will eat a vegan diet and they'll eat a bunch of fiber out of nowhere
Yeah.
from all of a sudden eating just like meat and dairy and maybe some vegetables, a lot of rice. Then all of a sudden they eat the fiber and then they go, oh, I'm bloated.
Yeah.
This is too much. We were talking about the gut microbiome, and I wanted to mention something very important that preliminary evidence is showing. When it comes to protein and vegan diets, that is one of the major things that we all hear immediately about what is our protein intake, how do we get protein, this and that. Well, there's a study now, preliminary, showing that it's our gut bacteria that takes that fiber, those prebiotics as I was talking about, and transmits that or breaks it down and metabolizes it and then gives us back those essential amino acids which we may be missing in the diet. In other words, a balanced vegan diet, you cannot become protein deficient.
Wow.
That for me was some of the craziest evidence that
I
I've heard.
100% believe that.
Yeah, that's some of the craziest evidence I heard. So we have this belief that we need to get X amount of protein a day,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me because guess what? This is why I said fiber is more important than protein, because when we're eating that fiber, it's telling our gut bacteria, oh, thank you, let me repay you with amino acids that you didn't get today in your tempeh.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy, huh?
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, we got to treat these guys good.
Yeah.
Right? We have to give them love. We have to
There
give
are
them good
millions of
food.
homies down there.
Millions of homies,
Or
exactly.
billions. Not sure.
I was listening to a
Really?
podcast where there was a lady who said that she feels like her microbiome is like her little pets, and
That's
she like wants
literally
to
me.
feed her pet.
That's me.
That's a really good way to look
You're
at it.
never
to, like,
alone.
Treat, because sometimes we don't care about ourselves as much as we, sometimes we treat ourselves badly. But like if you're thinking of it as like, no, it's your little friends in your stomach. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
No, I
don't know.
love you.
Like,
that's how I think.
I'll treat myself like trash, but you guys, I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen,
you guys need some fiber right now?
Yeah.
I get you some fiber.
Exactly. The last time I checked, we have about as much cells as we do cells in our body as we do bacteria in our gut.
Wow.
Our gut.
Wow.
So whoa.
It's important.
So what are we made of? Like our gut bacteria,
We're just
or
a big
or
ball
not
of
even-
bacteria.
Yeah, exactly. Not even gut bacteria or skin.
Yeah.
eyes, everywhere.
The balance on your skin is
No.
really important.
hmm Yeah. So this is why we need to treat ourselves well, because it reflects in our skin, right? It reflects in our oral health. It's all connected there, and hence we go back and make a full circle to naturopathic medicine. What we do.
Yeah.
Right? We look at the full connection instead of going, hey, your gut is a mess. Why don't you just take this antibiotic
Right.
and let's just see if we can treat that
Totally.
Yeah.
infection.
Yep.
In the meantime, the antibiotic is
Just
a
wiping it
atomic
all
bomb
out.
tidal wave. Yeah,
Yep.
gets
Yeah.
rid of our pets.
Yep.
Right?
Our poor pets.
Our
Can
poor
we
pets.
now talk about? I saw a lot of questions in our group and
Yes. Yeah, I have all
on
the
our
questions
questions
here.
that we asked on our Instagram. If you're not following our Instagram,
Follow.
you're missing out about PCOS and hormonal issues for women.
So PCOS is it's a dominant male sex hormones. Usually that's why we see the manifestation of hair growth in places that are not supposed to be growing. We see dark skin patches and everything. Immediately, we have to think, how can we have the liver detoxifying these androgens? How can we give love to the gut microbiome? And what about the adrenal glands, right? So these are the major things we see in PCOS.
Yeah.
It manifests a lot as acne,
Yeah.
usually around the
Like around
jawline.
here.
Yeah, exactly. Again, when we give the body what it needs to heal in the form of plants, then we're giving the building blocks to make a change, right? Detoxification, feeding the gut bacteria, nourishing those adrenals. When you have foods like dairy, which are known to disrupt your hormones,
Yep.
when you have food like meat, which is known to be inflammatory and be treated with hormones, you're giving your body exogenous hormones, and that's affecting your delicate hormonal balance.
Yeah.
So in a woman with PCOS, that's the first thing we have to exclude and start bringing in more healing foods,
Yeah.
right?
I was diagnosed with PCOS when I was 13, and it's crazy because they recommend a keto diet high. Like, I still find a lot of women are talking about, their doctors are talking about keto, lose weight, stop eating as many calories, and it's like the opposite. And now I've been vegan for a little over 4 years, and I don't have any of the like high androgen levels. I don't have any of the symptoms anymore. I'm like, they call it functionally cured.
Yeah.
And it's shocking to me because I was doing the opposite of what actually helped me for most of my life.
And their reasoning is this: with fat cells, the enzyme is creating more testosterone in the body. So losing weight will always be healthy for PCOS regardless of your diet.
Right.
But I'm talking about taking it a step further, so you are functionally in remission of PCOS or
Right.
cured of PCOS. The major issue with keto is there's no study that exists to show that it's long-term healthy. The only studies that keto hangs its hat on is showing that you can lose weight.
Yep.
There is studies that show keto is associated with increased cardiovascular disease, increased cancer, and increased all-cause mortality, meaning just dying of anything else.
It made my cholesterol shoot up
Yeah,
so high.
exactly. The other side of it, and this brings us to just even parts of paleo, is that when you're excluding carbohydrates, there was a 400,000 person study on carbohydrates took 8 major studies, and what they found is this: moderate levels of carbohydrates, 50 to 55% in your diet, has shown to be reducing a long-term mortality.
Yeah.
Meaning
Wow.
that it's more protective to you dying than high carb and low carb. The worst of the group was low carb. The individuals who ate low carb and ate high amounts of animal fat and animal protein. They were the ones that had the worst outcomes of dying the earliest.
Yep.
That's pretty interesting when we talk about both keto and paleo,
Yeah.
right? Because we know carbohydrates are protective to the heart. They're very protective to the heart. So, and we have to, as a caveat, we have to talk about the right carbohydrates. I'm not talking about exactly, not white
Not
rice,
French fries.
not French fries, right? Like those really whole grains, those like even quinoa, right? These are things that we have to talk about. We have to differentiate, but that's major.
So for people with hormonal issues, like they shouldn't be staying away from complex carbs and stuff like that.
No, that's
the opposite.
yeah, it's exactly, it's the
Yeah.
opposite.
And it's interesting too that, you know, obviously women are noticing it because they have things like PCOS, which are like
Or they're,
affecting
like-
them immediately.
Yeah, or they're unable to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Or all kinds of things that.
But men aren't in the clear. Like you said, men can get prostate cancer. Their chances of getting prostate cancer are way higher. And I think that a lot of times maybe men think, oh, I'm good because I'm not dealing with these issues now. But long term, it's
And
such...
prostate cancer, I think, is one of the leading cancers. It's like the top 2 or 3.
Well, for men, that's
Yeah.
what
Number
you die
one.
from. Yeah.
Not for women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have to think
Weird.
we have to think
Crazy.
long term, right? We have to think about
Yeah.
quality of life.
Right.
Right? The paleo hangs its hat on
Losing weight.
losing weight and like feeling functionally good now. What they don't know is they're predisposing themselves to long-term cardiovascular disease. That is a major, major, major issue,
Yeah.
right? Because we know that red meat is associated with ischemic heart disease, coronary artery disease, high blood pressure, strokes, cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer. Like, so to me, it's like, how can you have a meat-heavy diet that excludes, as we know in studies, carbohydrates, right? Even at this, look, if you have a plant-based meal and you have a piece of chicken on top of it, your blood pressure is going up 30% just by having chicken with that
That's
plant,
huge.
regardless of plants on it. And
Wow.
that's just your blood pressure. So we have to think about like, how can we better facilitate awareness for people knowing that like, I'm on paleo, I lost weight. Good, long term you lost weight. I'm on keto, I lost weight. Awesome, you lost weight. What the heck are you doing long term,
Yeah.
right? Because these trends are just, they're too much for me.
Yeah.
Like-
He can't even.
I can't even with
No,
these
and
trends.
it's always something new too, and I feel like a lot of times they repackage it with a new name.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's
Well, keto's like the
30?
Atkins,
It-
yeah.
and it's just a
basically
new
like the
thing,
Atkins.
but it's the same. It's
the
been
same,
around forever.
yeah.
Yeah, the Atkins was a shitty diet.
Yeah.
You know, we don't see too
And
much.
that's why we
good
don't
out
call
of
it that anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
They're like,
exactly.
let's just change the
Let's
name and sell
rename
to
it.
them again.
Oy.
Exactly, which is unfortunately what we see.
Yeah. I'd love to ask you about lectins,
Mm.
and specifically lectins in beans. I was watching a Mike the Vegan video where he was talking about kind of debunking the plant paradox book, where that guy basically says that there's all these dangerous plant foods that you should be afraid of, and one of them was kidney beans and beans in general because of lectins, and that they
Guess I'll
basically give you cancer. And I was like,
Okay.
Well, it looks like I'm dying.
Yeah. Looks like we're all dying.
Yeah.
I won't say his name, Mr. Plant Paradox, but I think it's irresponsible medicine to just take a whole classification of
Plants.
universe-given food and say, "Psh, we can't have that.
Yeah.
I'm going to reverse all your disease once we get rid of this demonized lectins." Lectins are proteins that are found in high amounts in grains, beans, and some nuts and seeds. Lectins are demonized by saying they affect our gut, they cause leaky gut, they affect our immune system, they affect our neurological system. They have a lot of really bad effects in our body. This is what paleo is based on, right? They'll say, eat
Yeah.
the way we were supposed
yeah,
to.
that's
our
why you're not
ancestors.
supposed to eat grains or something.
Yeah.
Right, you're not supposed to eat grains, but they hang their hat because the only studies on lectins to show this, and here we go, is they're animal and cellular studies. Okay, so one, just at that very basic level, we can't always translate that to human studies.
Yeah.
We can't. On top of that, these animals were fed an inordinate amount of lectins. I don't know anyone who goes home and eats a giant bowl of lentils for lunch and then a giant bowl of red beans for dinner.
needs to do
hold
my
on,
friend
hold on,
Nisha.
hold on. But
No, you don't.
what they also don't consider is this, that plants, fruits and vegetables attenuate the effect of lectins, right? So the belief is that these animals are fine with lectins, then they hit a threshold, and that threshold they manifest symptoms like the gut inflammation, the neurological changes, the immune changes.
I'm gonna die.
Right, you're not, because you're
I'm just kidding.
you're not
It's
just
the
eating
other
that
plants,
alone.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
not doing Chickpea Island.
Yeah.
No.
What I will
Girl
say,
loves lettuce.
she does the good. What I will say about lectins is this: we do know that wheat, barley, and rye lectins, which are wheat, germ, agglutins, and gluten, these do affect even healthy subjects. Which is why I say stay away from high amounts of wheat, stay away from barley, stay away from rye, and sometimes oats.
Well, a lot of oats, wheat, and barley are sprayed.
Unless it's gluten free. Unless it's gluten
Just
free.
take a moment.
Okay,
take a moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you eat gluten
I was
free.
gonna be like, bye guys, I'm out.
No. The whole point is this, back to lectins, is that lectins have beneficial effects. They are anti-cancer. They have anti-inflammatory. They have antioxidant properties. So this is why you can't just take a whole class and throw it away based on
gosh,
a cellular and animal study that is showing in the animals who were fed an inordinate amount of lectins.
Yeah.
That's irresponsible medicine.
So it's like the opposite of what we were saying with meat earlier. There's like a little bit of good with a whole lot of bad, whereas with like plants with lectins in it, it's a whole lot of good with maybe like a lectin.
So
Well,
if
he
it's
was
not-
also selling like a line of supplements that were like
Oh,
supposed
trust me, I know.
shady.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Shady.
yeah, like we're gonna remove the lectins and we're gonna buy my $250 red powder. And it'll help
No.
you. Yeah, too much.
No, well, I mean, think about it. Like, the earth is giving you something, and
Right.
you're going to instead take a bunch of powders. And I recently watched a YouTuber who is dealing with a chronic disease, and he did a what I eat in a day, and it's all packaged foods, powders, supplements, and all these things. And it just is crazy to me that you would choose that over the food in its whole source.
Whole
Most
form.
natural form.
Yeah.
Intelligence
Before
behind the
anything's
food.
touched it.
Yeah, synergy, right? Like, you can't. Sure, when you're sick, vitamin C can help you.
Of
Right
course,
there.
yeah.
But you can't take vitamin C at 2,000 milligrams every day and go, it's going to do exactly what
Might
it's
get a
supposed to
kidney
do.
stone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like there's bioflavonoids, there's different other minerals and vitamins in there. They all work together. There's an intelligence that is way past the comprehension of any doctor, any scientist out there. There's a universal intelligence in food. High vibration food, plants, right? And when you have dead food, there's not a universal intelligence going on there. We're not meant to eat a dead piece of slab of meat. Like
Yeah.
we're just not meant to do that.
Yeah.
And although like there's minerals in that, but there's also minerals in coal tar. Am I meant to eat coal tar?
Right.
Right? So we have to think about that.
So true. That was a question that we got a lot from the Instagram story. People want to know, should they be taking supplements? If so, in what form? And if there's like
And
specific.
what deficiencies are more seen on a plant-based diet versus a standard American?
Yeah.
We used to have bacteria abundant in the ground before we sterilized it that produced B12, right? We produce B12 right now. I'm producing it in my gut, but we're not absorbing it and utilizing it the way
Hey guys.
yeah, the way dietary would. So when we eat a cow, it's their gut bacteria is producing B12 and we get B12. Unfortunately for us, we've sterilized the ground, we've adulterated the ground where we're not getting that B12. So long story short, B12 is a supplement that we should be having, could or should be having 2,000 micrograms per week or 2 times a week, we'll say.
And is there one kind of B12 that's more effective than
Yeah,
another?
sure, for sure. 40% of us have methylation issues. So I always tell people to just get methylcobalamin. Although most of the studies on cyanocobalamin, not everyone utilizes it the way they do methylcobalamin. And there's many vegan B12s out there. Vitamin D, but even people who eat meat should be having vitamin D, especially in the
I
winter.
had to take a supplement
Yeah.
before I
too.
was vegan.
I see across the board people have low vitamin D, period.
Yeah.
And that is associated with multiple diseases, including cancer.
Yeah.
Breast cancer particularly. So vitamin D is something we should always be having.
But it is possible to get too much vitamin D, right? Like you shouldn't take it if you have adequate amounts. Is that right?
For sure. I don't like it in very, very, very high amounts because that can
But
cause
though most of them are pretty low unless you're like severely deficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's even talk something more important. Like, remember I just said like taking vitamin C and but the sun gives us more than vitamin D. Vitamin D is the main thing that but there's so much more to the sun. Go outside, take off your shoes, be a hippie for 20 minutes and absorb that vitamin D, right? Because that's going to do a lot more than spraying under your tongue. So if you have the time or make time to do that, that's more important to me.
There's definitely a feeling that you get when you're outside in the sun that you don't get from just
and it's so important for sleep too, right?
sleep
Well,
regulation.
there's nothing like the sun in nature.
Yeah.
There's nothing. That's my supplement, right? If you can bottle up all the benefits of nature,
Yeah.
if I did, I'd be a billionaire actually.
I read an article where they were saying that in Japan they call it taking a nature bath when you go walk in nature because it's so healing, and they just believe in the energy and how effective that is.
It's
for overall
scientific.
health.
I wrote a whole post on negative ions. There's negative ions scientifically change your biochemistry, and they make you healthier. Those negative ions reduce those positive ions
Let's go
that we
take
get.
some nature baths, guys.
Nature
No,
baths.
I'm
Find me under a tree next
blown
time you
away
see
by
me.
this because I had felt this, but I didn't know the scientific
It's negative
reasoning
ions.
behind
Yeah,
this.
they're called negative ions.
But I recently moved to a place that's a lot more walkable, so I was never getting outside at my old place because you pretty much have to drive anywhere to get somewhere. So I would walk my dogs for like 15 minutes a day, and then that was the most I would get outside. Most of my time was spent indoors. And I recently moved somewhere where I'll walk to the grocery store, I'll walk to get coffee, and I'm outside a lot more. And my mood, I feel healthier, I sleep better, I wake up at the same time every day. Like there would be, I feel like before when I would wake up, I felt like a ton of bricks hit me every single time I woke up.
Yeah.
And now I feel like a new person. It's insane. And so I like want to shout it from the rooftops, like get sun, like go outside.
Yeah, inherently, like we are programmed to be outside during the day and be inside ready to go to sleep when the sun goes down. That's ancestrally, we have been programmed that way. We're not programmed to be in a cubicle. We're not programmed to be looking at Instagram all day.
Yeah, and artificial lighting.
And artificial light. Yeah, and then we come home and we have all of these lights on, right? Blue light, and then we expect to go to sleep and wake up refreshed.
Yeah.
We're not. And look, we're talking about vegan, we're talking about plants, but like we just have to talk about whole health. This is for everyone, regardless. Go outside, go to nature. I walk on the sand every morning in the beach.
That's
you know,
amazing.
and for everything we just said, and we need to be doing more of that. Supplement wise, back to that, those are the major ones.
D, vitamin D, and B12.
Vitamin D
And
and
what are
B12.
some deficiencies that you would see on the standard American diet?
Everything. Everything. We'll run.
People don't believe, like I've said that before in so many videos, and I got so much flack for it, and I was like,
Everyone thinks
it's true.
I've been vegan for 3.5 years now, and my non-vegan friends still to this day will be like, yeah, but you have to supplement so much. And I'm like, no, do you guys know me? I don't supplement. I do B12 and I do vitamin D, and that's all I do.
We got a lot of questions about a vegan diet for children, whether or not it's healthy, and also kind of a sub question of that is I've heard people say that the bioavailability of things like flax seeds are not like a small child can't get that from a flax seed. Or is that even true?
You can absolutely do a vegan diet on a child. We've seen that. Dr. Greger speaks about that in a few of his videos. You can, if you do it properly, and even at that, even improperly, is still going to be better than the crap that they feed children. And wait, let's do a side note. Glyphosate has been found to be the highest. Glyphosate is the pesticide, herbicide that is put into genetically modified foods. It's also sprayed on wheat to dry it. Glyphosate has been found to be the highest in Cheerios. What do you see children having? Right? Picking on Cheerios. Yeah,
oh
exactly.
I used to eat so many Cheerios.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah,
so
of
did
course,
I.
yeah.
And it's marketed
Guess
as
I'll
a health food. Yeah, Cheerios is one of the worst foods when it comes to exposures of glyphosate. And because I do a lot of cancer medicine, glyphosate is something I test for in every patient.
Cheerios is a sponsor of the Olympics. I remember when the Olympic version would
There
come
used
out,
to
like
be.
for athletes. Remember that?
Cheerios, Wheaties, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So back to children. Yes, you can absolutely do a vegan diet. They can get all their essential nutrients. They can get DHA, right? They can get everything on a well-balanced vegan diet. You have to do research if you're going to have a kid, right? But still,
Just in general.
blindly.
Yeah, you can't just
go blindly into motherhood.
yeah, you can't just go blindly and go, let's give you some Cheerios and some chicken nuggets and go, things will be fine. Unfortunately, a lot of children eat like that.
Yeah.
You asked about flax. Okay, so flax seeds you can't really eat because you'll poop them out and
They'll
you're
stay
not gonna really do
Yeah,
anything.
you're supposed to grind them up.
Grind them up.
Yeah.
grind them up, right? And so you can give, and I don't do pediatric medicine, but I know that you can give a vegan diet to children, right? It will give them all the building blocks. I also know that pediatricians should not be recommending 3 to 5 glasses of milk for every children. Give your child sesame seeds, give your child tahini, give your child leafy greens, give your child a smoothie.
Because these are all sources of calcium.
Right? These are sources of essential fats that your children need. So rather than jump into thinking that you need to give milk for your child because your pediatrician said so, who your pediatrician who got 23.9 hours of nutrition said so, we can't just assume that he or she is always right.
Just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's right.
Right. Or sane.
Got a lot of questions about soy, and we were just talking about DHA. There's so many more topics we'd love to talk about with Dr. G, so we would love to have him back. If you guys have any questions for the next time he's on the show, please comment below and we will ask him in the next episode.
I have a lot to say about a lot, so I will be back.
Yay.
And it's a blessing to be sitting here talking with you
We
lovely
feel really
people.
honored to have you.
And educating everyone, and I would be glad to speak about anything.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank
We
you.
are
And
so grateful.
Definitely follow him on his Instagram. You do amazing Instagram stories. You have a lot of highlights that are just so filled with information, and it's a great way to get in touch with someone who knows their stuff.
I take Skype patients state to state. If you're in California, I'm in LA, Santa Monica, and Hollywood.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely check out our Facebook group because we answer a lot of these questions in there, and we'll see you guys next time in a new video.
Bye.